Hey! Is the noon train on time?
Supposed to be.
Feels like it's time.
Fair enough.
And that's my coffee maker. How's everybody doing today? I'm hoping everybody's having a beautiful day. We got a lot to talk about today. I want to talk about the Epstein stuff, but I want to mention something because I didn't mention it last week, and I want to explain to y'all why we do so much political commentary over here. Like 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. What happens is I have somebody that I'm having a political conversation with, and I'm never trying to debate. The issue is, and we're going to talk about a couple of things today, but the issue is I'm never actually trying to debate. But what happens is when you're smart, people always think you're trying to get one over. When people think that you're smarter than them, let me just be clear on that. Not when you're smart, because a lot of us are intelligent, but we don't run into these issues with everyone. When people think that you're smarter than them, they always consider you to be a liar because you're constantly talking about things that they can't understand. And in addition, and they're always thinking that you think that you're better than them. Stupid stuff like that. It's not my fault that I learn more than you. I mean, maybe it is. Now, with that being said, a lot of the reason why we have these political discussions is because these be actual conversations that I have with people. I'm going to say that again. These be actual conversations that I have with people. And they argue me down. They do that thing where they talk over you while you talking, and then they make it sound like you interrupting them. But you can't interrupt me here. So that's a thing that goes on with me. So people will be having like a regular conversation, and then at some point they feelings get hurt or something. I don't know. And then once they realize I'm talking about something and they're wrong and I'm right, then they do like what the liberals do now. They try to talk over you. They try to talk you down. They try to pretend like you interrupting them when in reality you never finished talking. You understand what I'm saying? All of like stuff. Satan is the author of confusion. Now, with that being said, I want to give a shout out to the pantry. Everybody should know that I be volunteering at a pantry. I want to give a shout out to the pantry. I'm going to explain why. So I pull up on Friday late because I pull up late because I pull up late in the day for whatever the reason is on Friday, right? I don't want to get into it. And do you know that they had made food earlier and they saved me a plate? So I want to give a shout out to the pantry, everyone there, whether we on good terms or not. I want to give a shout out to absolutely everyone at the pantry, and I want to mention Pastor Joel and Miss Pam by name, along with Leon, her husband, by name. Thank you very much, because I walk around, I'm never heard. Like, very few people care about the way that I feel. You understand? Like, very few people. The way I feel is not important to no one, almost. And it felt good. For like, shout out to Pastor Joel. It felt good for people to care. And I gave Pastor Joel a second shout out because he's a pastor. He's in the church. And he does not allow for people to be around him and not follow criteria that the Bible instills. He's an example, and he also encourages and doesn't leave room for foolishness around him. He stands to his word that he is a man of the Bible. He just doesn't use the Bible to try to manipulate others. Just so we could be clear. They saved me a plate of food, yo. I don't even eat when I'm working. Like, I might take a little bite here and a little bite there. You understand what I'm saying? But while I'm working, I don't eat. They're always offering me food also. Shout out to Pastor Joel. He's always offering me food. But I don't eat while I'm working. So I might just take like a chicken wing or two. And not like how they do chicken wings now when they actually break the chicken wing in half and then that's 2 pieces. No, whole freaking chicken wing. So shout out to them. I really appreciate that. I'm rarely ever heard. People are usually looking for an opportunity to like attack me and attack my character. I could just imagine the things that's said when I'm not around. You understand what I'm saying? I couldn't imagine. With that being said, we have some more proof today, and I love doing this. I am not going to cap to you. I love exposing how the Democratic voters are under a hypnosis. I love exposing this. I think that it's important because there's people that I actually care about that think that the Democrats are right. And in my heart of hearts, I believe every single person that's voting democratically cannot be allowed into heaven because of what they're pushing and their agendas. I know y'all think church and politics are supposed to be separate, but they're not. I was having a conversation with Pastor Joe the other day. For everybody that don't know, I routinely go up to people that teach, the Bible and ask them questions routinely because this is like my life. This is what I've been doing my whole life. And we had a conversations about the Corinthians, and I've been saying that the Corinthians were sent to govern, and he made it a little bit more clear. And he said that Paul wrote the Corinthians in order for them to learn how to run the church. Basically, I'm getting more information on this. I might pull up to Pastor Joe's always inviting me over for dinner. I might pull up this week. So we'll get more into that, but I got like a lot of information from him on that helps clear up some things that I might not have had certainty of, but we'll speak on that later. Let's get to the actual show. I want to be clear about something now. Hold on, let me change this thing so I could be able to see exactly what videos I'm putting up before I put them up. I want to be clear about something. Not actually. The Democrats are scared. The Democrats never wanted the Epstein files to be released because, let's just be honest, why weren't they released previously? Trump, for the people that saying Trump doesn't want the Epstein files released, no, he's tried to get them to release and they kept getting blocked. And then he said, you know what, we don't got time for this. There's other things that we need to do in the government. We can't spend the whole entire year using all of our resources to try to get the Epstein files released. We have to do work for the people. He said this like flat out. And then what did the Democrats tell y'all? Yo, he's trying to block the list. While the only people that were blocking the list were judges that had been appointed by Obama. So I got a couple clips I want to show y'all. We're under a deep hypnosis in our community, and many of us are not going to make it out. We're not going to make it out on the right side of God. We're just not. Because y'all choose the way that you feel over everything else in the world. There's nothing in the world that supersedes the way that you feel. Not God, not nothing. I keep saying that, and I think people don't understand. And the reason why I say that is, like, there's people that I've had conversations with, like when I'm talking, and I'll just mention things out of the Bible without saying that they're in the Bible. I'll mention passages where they say that God speaks on, or the Bible speaks how we're supposed to live. I won't tell the person I'm talking to that because it's not for me to say, this is in the Bible. I'm not trying to hit you over the head. I'm just trying to give you some information. And when I give these people this information, I have this one lady that calls me a liar whenever I tell her anything from the Bible. And this is a whole pure fact. And I just be looking at her and I'd be like, so I don't never want to talk about the Bible with her because I don't want her to condemn herself. You understand? So I don't talk about the Bible with her no more, ever. Hopefully I never talk to her again, but that's beyond the point. I don't talk to the Bible with her at all because I personally, with my own 2 ears, heard her condemn things in the Bible repeatedly because her feelings. So I got a clip I want to show y'all. Let's go through some clips. Her feelings. So she's condemning the Bible because it don't conform to her feelings. It's crazy. So anyway, first thing I want to do is this. You know how they keep saying Trump is a racist? You know how they keep saying Trump is a racist? You know how they keep saying Trump hates people? You know how they black people? You know how they keep saying Trump hates the poor? You know how they keep saying Trump was kicking black people out of his houses? That's all a lie. There's fights that go on with the landlords and the city. And that's all that was happening. Now, I don't know who was on the right side of these conversations. I'm so far removed from hearing about them that I would need to do research in order for me to be able to give you a proper introduction to actually what happened, just so we could be clear. But I want to show you something. So I can just prove to you all of these people that say Trump's a racist, Trump hate people that's poor, Trump is doing this, Trump is doing. I just want to show you something real quick.
100-unit apartment house on Central Park South at 6th Avenue will be torn down as soon as Donald can get all the tenants out. Trump says he has millionaires there living in rent-controlled flats. When Donald offered to put some of the city's homeless people in vacant apartments there, the city turned him down.
You walk down the streets today and you see people freezing. And I said, put them in those apartments.
Can you blame people for looking a little askance at that and saying, well, isn't it going to be quite unpleasant for these million?
Okay, that's one. Let me put my image back in back of me again real quick. What the hell is going on? I'm not a big fan of just having a black screen in back of me. Where is the... I'm out of this. Oh, I use this one today. Boom. All right, boom. There we go. Boom. We'll use that one for the time being. And then we're going to drag it. This is crazy. Anyway, we're going to use that one for the time being. We're using that one today. I'll fix it another time. I like the aesthetics of the other one. It just looks better with the orange. And anyway, in any regard, let me show y'all this real quick. Y'all heard some of it. Check this out.
100-unit apartment house on Central Park South at 6th Avenue will be torn down as soon as Donald can get all the tenants out. Trump says he has millionaires there living in rent-controlled flats. When Donald offered to put some of the city's homeless people in vacant apartments there, the city turned him down.
You walk down the streets today and you see people freezing. And I said, put them in those apartments.
Can you blame people for looking a little askance at that and saying, well, isn't it going to be quite unpleasant for these millionaires who live in this building? Isn't that part of what's in the back of your mind?
I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I must tell you, and it's not in the back of my mind. All I can say is that we have in Midtown Manhattan possibly the only 20 vacant apartments in all of Midtown Manhattan. And they're being heated, and there's hot water. And I say, let the people stay in there until we get the entire possession.
Okay, so 2 things I want to show y'all here. One is this. You know how they keep saying Trump only does things for his millionaire friends? Yeah, he's trying to kick them out of his building. Listen.
100-unit apartment house on Central Park South at 6th Avenue.
And if you do not understand that real estate is so... He just said 6th Avenue. Central Park West.
Will be torn down.
Wait,
as
Central
soon as
Park
Donald
East
can
or
get
West?
all
That's
the
East, right?
Will be torn house on Central Park South at 6th Avenue.
Central Park South,
will be
right.
torn down as soon as Donald can get all the tenants out.
So Trump is trying to destroy this building. He's trying to tear the building down for whatever his reason is. And he's also trying to get the tenants out of the building, just so we can be clear. And the tenants that he want removed from the building are all millionaires. Do you understand how stupid the elected Democratic politicians are? how stupid they have you looking. I'm going to say this real quick. Do you understand how stupid the elected politicians have you looking? You, not me, but you. The person that runs around saying all Donald Trump cares about is rich people. You know how stupid y'all looking? You know how long this is ago? This is in the 90s, I think. Look at those cars. That might be the 80s. Do you know how stupid y'all look? I'm talking about to a reasonable individual with even the rudimentary amount of common sense. Not stupid you look. Just so we could be clear, there's hundreds of stories like this. And I'm saying hundreds, right? Because they literally are. I'm not embellishing. I'm not exaggerating. There's literally hundreds of cases like this where he chooses the common folk over the rich man or woman. But those elected Democrats, they got y'all believing he hate poor folk when he right here is campaigning to kick the millionaires out of the building and allow homeless people to live in the building until it gets demolished and he can rebuild, because he's fighting with the city to build another building there. So I'll let them homeless stay here until we could sort that out. But y'all said he hate the poor. So who's lying? Because at this point, you're not wrong. See, you're wrong about something when you don't have the information. You're lying about something when you're given the information, but still say the wrong thing. So who's lying? So I'll be making a lot of these videos because I'll be having conversations with people and they talk over me so I can't say my points. Because they know I'm right and they know they wrong and they know they don't know what they talking about. They know they did zero research. They know they just heard something on CNN or MSNBC or whatever news station that's out there that's, saying whatever they saying. They did zero research. They don't know nothing. They didn't look nothing up. They know nothing about what they're talking about. Nothing. So hold on. I just want to show that first. We got a couple of things that we're going to show today. Specifically because, and I'm going to be honest with you, if I was face to face with some of these individuals attempting to enlighten them on these subject matters, you know what they're going to say? Well, both sides are wrong. Both sides are wrong? Check this out. I want to show you who you people agree with. You people agree with pedophiles. Right?
There is no...
Right? And I'm going to prove to you that you love these people. I'm going to prove it over the course of this channel's lifetime. I'm going to prove it that the Democrats and the people who vote for Democrats agree with pedophilia. Let's start here.
Now says that everyone who's on Snap
that's not it.
is going to have to reapply.
Hold on. That's a whole nother conversation. We're going to get into that later.
You said the other
Absolutely.
day...
Did I put it? If I didn't put it, I got to go get it.
United Nations.
What do you say to someone who would ask, well, where's the sense of humanity? Why are you fighting this? Why are you going to this?
Okay, so I didn't put the clip up. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go get the clip. But until then, look at this.
He's calling you out of touch with the grassroots. Is it fair criticism? Do you envision any leadership change anytime soon?
Look, I am doing what I have done for my whole career. I'm fighting hard to bring Americans' costs down. I'm fighting hard to deliver for New York. I've done that my whole career. I'm going to continue to do that, period.
So I'm going to play this clip again, but I want to give you a little bit of context. Y'all all saw this clip, and we all know exactly what just happened. He was asked the question about why Biden didn't release the Epstein files, and they do what they always do. They deflect. So hold on. Why would somebody deflect? That's all people do when they have conversations with me. That's one of the reasons why I don't talk to people. Because cause something to change direction by interposing something, turn aside from, or straight course. The bullet was deflected harmlessly. Ball deflected, refused to deflect from anything. So, the compass deflected. Hold on. Deflecting. Why would somebody deflect in the conversation, right? Whoa. I just be up here, quite honestly, telling y'all, avoid discomfort, maintain their self-image, or evade responsibility. Hold on. I'm doing the thing. Y'all need to see me do it. So whenever anyone deflects, period, in a conversation that I'm having, I always assume 100% of the time that they're attempting to evade responsibility, meaning they know that I'm right. They know that they are wrong, period. So they be thinking they winning the conversation. I mean, I guess to the people around, you won. But I don't have conversations based on what people around me care about. I have conversations based on God is watching. So this whole time, you having a conversation with me based trying to please that person and trying to please that person, I'm trying to please God. We are not the same. I just want to be clear on that. We're not the same. You trying to sound good to that person and trying to sound good to that person. I'm trying to be right by God. We are not the same. And that's why when people try to manipulate you, you don't have to fall into it. You understand? You don't have to fall into the manipulation. If somebody be like, but you got to do that because of God. Nope. God does not want us to manipulate or shame people with his name. He wants us to teach people and inform people. Period. So once somebody tries to manipulate me with God's name, then you're somewhere else. You're like, okay, I might still like you, but I can't trust you. I'm very disappointed. Huh. That's interesting. All right, let's get through this as quick as possible. I got some stuff that I need to do today. And in about 10 minutes, I'm going to tell you about some other stuff that has nothing to do with this politics stuff, but just something that I want to broadcast on the channel. So, fam, you got to be mindful. These people out here, a lot of times people, they only care about what they could get from you. They don't care about your well-being. They don't care about if you're doing well. They don't care about none of that stuff. Once again, shout out to the pantry. I wasn't even there, and they saved me a plate of food. That's love. I wasn't even there. I wasn't even there. Imagine somebody thinking about you when you're not there. And then imagine people who don't think about you when you're standing right in front of their face. I wasn't even there. I feel so loved. I feel so appreciated. Let's get back to the show. I feel seen. Now check out Chuck Schumer. Listen to this.
He's calling you out of touch with the grassroots. Is it fair criticism? Do you envision any leadership change anytime soon?
Look, I am doing what I have done for my whole career. I'm fighting hard to bring Americans' costs down. I'm fighting hard to deliver for New York. I've done that my whole career. I'm going to continue to do that, period.
Okay, first of all, New York is one of the most expensive places to live, so you're lying. Literally one of the most expensive places to live. So you're either lying or you're bad at your job. Let's just be clear on that. I thought that was a different clip. I have like a ton of clips. I didn't get them all in here, obviously, apparently. But we do have YouTube. I might go snatch some and show them to y'all. I thought this was interesting, though. Check this out. You know how I keep telling y'all DEI is not good? I had a conversation with somebody the other day. And they was like, if not for DEI, black people won't get hired places. And then I have a different argument. I got a different take on that. Listen. I got a different take on that. Listen and pay attention. There's places where only black people would be hired. What the hell? That might win or something. There's places where only black people would be hired if DEI didn't exist. Think about that for a moment. Also, while the Democrats talk about this DEI shit, they also talk about importing immigrants to do hard labor for a little bit of money. Illegals specifically. Because illegals can't, y'all do know illegals can't complain about their wages. Because they're illegal. Democrats, this guy says he's trying to make everything affordable. Hold on. I got something I'm about to show y'all. But we got to be mindful of that. Stop allowing people, when you have a good heart, and I'm going to 100% agree, I believe that there are a lot of people that vote Democrat that actually have a good heart. They've just been tricked and bullied. Because the number one thing that Democrats try to do is bully you into doing whatever it is that they want you to do. That's why whenever anybody try to bully me into doing anything, I don't do it. Period. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not doing it. This is a situation where you might have to kill me. Hand to God. This is a situation where might have to kill me. I'm not doing it. Or for principle. Just so we could be clear. Or for principle. And for everybody that thinks I'm capping, y'all might remember a couple of years ago when we had those gangbangers that was gonna kill me if I didn't do what they wanted me to do. And I didn't. Before we moved to Coney Island, when we were still in the Bronx. I'm not gonna call their names out because I'm not trying to bring stuff back up or nothing like that. But remember, we had those gangbangers that was publicly advocating on my death. And we had the one dude who was scared to do it himself. He moved all the way to Ohio. He was scared to do it himself. So he was trying to get the niggas in the street, regular gang niggas in the street, to kill me. I still didn't do what they wanted me to do. They were trying to extort me. This is back when I was making money. Nah, we not doing that, fam. So I'm just not doing it. I'm just not doing it. That's just what it is. I don't know no other way to explain this. In any regard, that's what the Democrats do. They try to bully you into whatever it is that they're talking about. Why do you think they try to hijack the black movement, civil rights movement? Hijacked it. They say, vote Democrat for civil rights. Civil rights was a black issue. Civil rights movement was created by Republicans. That's a whole nother conversation. Abolitionists, they were Republicans. The sides did not switch with Nixon. The Democrats just got trickier. How could this? They say it flipped. The branches of the political spectrum flipped when the Ku Klux Klan is still predominantly Democrat. Y'all keep saying the Ku Klux, those are Republicans. No, those are David Duke and them. They're Democrats. David Duke ain't here no more, but all of his friends, Biden and them, was his friends. Those are Democrats. Imagine the audacity. They just think Democrats are stupid. And I'm not going to lie, I was a Democrat. And now me looking back on it, I was stupid. I was stupid. Because I'm thinking about it. Like, even right now, I'm thinking about it. You have the head grand master of the Ku Klux Klan hanging out with the Democrat while the Democrats is busy telling you that the Republicans is the Ku Klux Klan. You see, before the internet was a thing and you believe that, it's one thing. But now the internet is a thing. Oh, this stuff is like so easily researched. It's so easily researched that there's thousands of videos online on the subject matter right now. All it takes is you wanting to find out the truth. So I'll say that again. Democrats have us believing that the Ku Klux Klan is Republican. Wow. The grandmasters of the Ku Klux Klan is friends with the Democrats. Explain this. All of you black people, explain this. They're going to say Donald Trump was kicking people out of their homes, which is a lie. You ain't even from New York City. You don't even know what was going on. Copy? You don't know what was going on. And half of y'all that are from, you was out in the street doing stupid shit. Y'all just against the Republicans because you believe that the Republicans are the police. When, if you really, really pay attention, most of the places where black people have issues with the police, a lot of them are in red states. We're not going to act like racism doesn't exist. But the majority of places where black people have problems with the police is in blue areas. Los Angeles, New York City, Chicago. Atlanta, Memphis, Houston. I ain't miss. So all of the places that are blue is where black people have the most issues with the police. But y'all believe that it's the Republicans' fault. There's a reason why they don't want you to listen to me. There's a reason why when I talk, certain people try to talk over the top of me. There's a reason. They have nothing at all except for their feelings and emotions. And I'm coming with facts. They hate me. I promise you. I promise you. They hate me. Gotta be hurting their heart every time they have to pretend to like me. Gotta be hurting their heart. You gotta be hurting their heart every time they gotta pretend to like me. Let's get to the next clip. They gotta be out there. They gotta be over there like, oh man, I gotta pretend to like this guy. Every time he talk, he make me look stupid. Yeah, and then they do this. Yeah, then they do this. They deflect. They don't let me talk. They talk over the top of me, and then they deflect. They change the context of the conversation, and because they want to evade responsibility. That's it. It's the tactics of changing the subject. It's every time I prove something I say is right, then they start, before it clicks, they try to change the subject and start talking about something else. And then, yeah, that's what they do. That's what they do. I have zero respect for that behavior. Zero respect. So take that however you want to take that. Be angry. People always get angry when they're wrong. Be angry. All right, let's move on. Let's go to the next topic real quick that we're going to shoot down. Let's shoot down the next topic. We got the... whoops, wrong button. We got the next topic we're going to shoot down real quick because we just shooting at Democrats. Not literally. I got to say that because people are crazy. We're shooting at Democrats' talking points because they don't know what they're talking about. Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, AOC, Nancy Pelosi, Jasmine Crockett, and the rest of them, they just lie to y'all. And there has to be a point that you question, because it's crazy, because you question everything everyone else says except for a democratically elected official. The things they say, you never question, no matter how insane it sounds. Men could be women. Men could have babies. Y'all don't question that. Y'all do zero questioning of that. But when they tell you, the people who run these agencies like Snap tell you, yo, there's a ton of people on Snap that shouldn't be on Snap. Yo, they trying to take our money. So I'm going to show you a clip, and then I'm going to express to you why it's actually what they're going to do is going to benefit you. I'll play the clip first.
Now says that everyone who's on SNAP is going to have to reapply. Now, this happened, of course, when the government shut down and there was, the SNAP benefits were not getting out to the people. For 42 million Americans. For 42 million. Well, we thought Americans. Inside the country. People is probably the better. Yep. People. And so Brooke Rollins, we had her on, and we had a great conversation with her where she said, hey, listen, this whole SNAP benefits conversation around the shutdown has sort of pulled the curtain back, and people are seeing how many people are on SNAP that aren't actually citizens, and they're going to have to reapply. What do you make of this? I think it's very popular, especially if you go online and look at what people think. I think it's a popular initiative to say these benefits are for Americans. Is she going to be able to accomplish this? Is she going to have some legal challenges to it? What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm sure. You know, everything that comes from the Trump administration, I just track it and see how long it takes for it to land in the Supreme Court. So there are going to be legal challenges. But the thing is, most of these...
Okay, so I just want to stop that right there when she talked about legal challenges. I want to explain something to you right now, why this is so insane. Oh, shoot. That's a good thing. I'm going to explain to you why this is so insane. It's insane for a couple of different reasons, right? So this is the number one reason why it's insane. There's another clip too. Hold on. Let me go find the other clip real quick while we're talking. This is insane. I'm going to explain to you a couple of reasons why it's insane. The first reason is this. So there's 186,000, allegedly, 186,000 dead people and hundreds of thousands of double dippers. Trump administration wants these people removed, the 186,000 people that are not here anymore, and most likely they want to prevent the double dippers from double dipping, and in many of those cases probably just want to just get rid of their ability to have SNAP in the first place because they've already been defrauding the system, just so we could be clear. Why would the Democrats want to prevent that from happening? Explain that to me. How is this an area of conflict? How is this something that both sides do not agree on? Wait, are you saying that there's people on SNAP who are not alive anymore? Yeah, we got to get them off. Where's that money going? Right? I'm going to show you something real quick. Check this out. Hold on. I spelled that wrong. What is that? Grandmother? So this was a thing. I don't remember Snopes, PolitiFact, and fact checking are all democratically ran propaganda machines. That's basically what they are. So they claim, the claim is, I'm not going to accuse her and say this is definitive. I'm just going to say what it says. The claim is Jasmine Crockett received money from a deceased grandmother's Social Security checks. They're saying it's false. Okay, whatever. But this is what they're trying to prevent. This is what they're trying to prevent. Because there are actually people that are benefiting from this. This is a real thing. They said the same thing about AOC too. I don't know if that's true. But these are accusations. Why do both of them have the same accusations? So just so we can be clear, this is what they're trying to prevent. You understand? Why would that be a point of contention for the Democrats? Even if even if none of this is true, why shouldn't we close the back door to make sure that the wolves don't get in before they do? Explain that to me. And even though I believe that those people received that money, it says false. We'll stay on there. Even though I know that fact checkers is a Democratic branch. That's why they got kicked out of X. Well, not X. I think they got kicked out of X too, and they got kicked out of Instagram. For everybody that don't know, Instagram doesn't use fact checks no more. You notice that don't pop up on your screen no more. You notice now, fact checkers ain't on Instagram no more. Not on X. At least I don't know if it's on X. I don't use X anymore. It's not on Instagram. Boom. Just pay attention. Why would the Democrats be against this? This is not something they should be against. I'll let this finish out, and then I got a thing I'm going to say.
These programs with SNAP are administered by the states, and a lot of the states do have verification programs where people have to update every 3 to 6 months or, really establish that they got some kind of need. But maybe she's proposing something at the federal level that would then have a federal component for, applying and.
Oh, okay. So I want to say something. When I first started, real quick history of me, I had got into some trouble with the law right before I started YouTube. Right. I used to have a much shorter temper than I currently have. And it caused problems for me. I'm just going to be honest. Right. And I'm not even saying I was right or wrong in any of these situations that I was losing my temper. That's not important. The important part is I did have a short temper. I didn't have enough patience with individuals, and that was something that I needed to work on, and that's a fact. So I got into some trouble with the law, and I ended up going to a anger management program. So while at this anger management program, they actually hired me. Because the people that ran the program, they assessed me, and what they basically said is that you don't actually have an issue with anger. It's your environment. It's the people around you. See, what happens is gaslighting is my trigger. And I happen to live with people that all they do is gaslight. Another reason why I just don't talk to people. Gaslighting is one of my triggers. Shout out to Dr. Saunders. He actually was my mentor for a couple of years, and the reason in which why I got the position in the first place. I show up, I was there for like a week. I'm supposed to be there like anger management. I'm there for like the first week, and then he just pulled me right to the side and was like, you shouldn't even be here. He says, I'm extremely affable, I'm malleable, I learn very quick, and I'm, very good energy, very positive energy, and whatever. And so had a conversation with me, obviously, and then through that, he's decided that that there was no need for me to be there anymore for the most part. And I was using the rest of the time that I was allocated there, that I had to be there because it was government issued. They were training me, basically. They sent me to go do IQ tests and like a whole ton of stuff. They found me to be extremely valuable. So they just showed me so much love. So with that being said, while I was at this place, I learned what my triggers were. And one of my triggers is gaslighting. Apparently, me and narcissists, I just don't get along with narcissists. That's just what it is. I don't want to go too much further into that because then I'm going to have to badmouth some people, some family members that I don't even want to speak about. So I don't want to badmouth them neither. I hope that everybody is doing well. I hope everybody is, we got a situation going on in my family right now where somebody is not doing so well. I hope they get better. You know what I'm saying? I hope everything works out. I don't want to say who it is because I know how much people hate me. I personally think that if I told you who it was, that y'all people would try to find them and then go try to like speed up their death or something. Like, people are sick. You understand what I'm saying? Like, people are sick. Hand to God, that's what I believe. People are sick, yo. So, back to the conversation. So, when they're talking about these double dippers, it doesn't make sense for the Democrats to be against this unless they're benefiting from it. So, another reason why I don't really care for narcissists, because what narcissists do is they like to control the way people look at you. You know what I'm saying? So, they'll go tell people you have a mannerism of doing this, mannerism of doing that, when you really don't. But then when you come around, they'll do stuff to you to then cause that activity to come out of you. Then they'll pretend like that's who you are as a person. You understand? Like, these are dangerous, evil people. You know, and yes, I'm using the word evil because that's evil. These are dangerous, evil people. You understand? That's evil. But to them, they're gonna have a reason, excuse or whatever. They're gonna deflect, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna not accept responsibility, you know what I'm saying? So let's finish this clip real quick.
Proving that you actually need this, because I think all of us are compassionate Americans. Like, we want our fellow Americans to get help when they need it, and we've all known people, if not our own families, that have walked through these periods of needing this kind of help. But Secretary Rollins also said that she found there were 186,000 checks or SNAP benefits going out to people who were dead. So
why can't we stop that? Oh, back to what I was trying to say before. I was on SNAP when I first started this. As soon as my SNAP ended, I never reapplied. And I was still, I was getting, tiny checks from YouTube, but I was, it wasn't nothing really yet. You understand what I'm saying? But as soon as my SNAP ended, I didn't reapply. Before I used to work for my father, I didn't want to work for them no more. Decided to go my own way. I just refuse to stay places where I don't feel respected. I just refuse. And I give people all the chance in the world to do right by me. Because I want to do right by you. You get it? So, I wanted to say something also earlier. You don't get the right to do this. You don't get the right for me say I'm going to do something for you out of the kindness of my heart. Then you get to treat me like trash. And then I still do the thing. 100% of the time, I'm going to not do the thing. You do not get the right for me to dedicate my time, energy, to give charity to you. Because that's what it is. If I'm doing something for you and I'm expecting nothing in return, that's charity. You do not have the right to get charity from me and treat me badly. I will 100% of the time not do the thing that I promise. And that's not me lying. That's me holding you responsible because you refuse to hold yourself responsible. A narcissist will manipulate you that way. You'll promise to do something for them. Now they don't feel like they got to be nice to you. Now they're going to treat you badly. And then when you don't do the thing, they're going to say, but you promised. Yep, I did. I promise, but there was criteria. I 100% promise. That's a fact. But if you think you're going to shit on me, and then I'm going to spend time, energy, money, or anything in your benefit, you are mistaken. And God says that I don't have to. You are mistaken. There is no manipulation that can happen to make me move off of my point if I don't feel like it. I'm ready to die alone. Are you? If you're not ready to die alone, then you don't have the same energy I got. I'm ready to kick absolutely every single thing out of my life for God. Do you? I have kicked everything out of my life for God. Have you? These people don't be knowing who they playing with. People don't know they playing with. They be thinking, yo, we gonna treat him like trash and he gonna still do the thing he promised to do. No, I won't. And I won't feel no way about it. I promise you I won't. I've read the Bible enough to know that I'm not beholden to you. I'm beholden to him. God doesn't say that we have to keep our word to a liar or an abuser. So if you wanted me to do the thing that I promised to do, and all you had to do is be nice to me, and you refused to be nice to me, what in the hell would I do the thing for you for? You couldn't even be nice to me. Just saying. Let's move to the next topic. That's crazy though. All of those people on public assistance, that aren't supposed to be on public assistance, and we can't even get them off the rolls. The Republicans have been fighting to get them off the rolls. Remember, before the shutdown? Y'all think the shutdown was not, it was about the Epstein list. Don't get it confused. But the shutdown, it was about the healthcare thing. Don't get it confused. But it was about so much more than that. Everybody forgets. Right before the shutdown, what did Mike Johnson say? He's going to bring a vote for the Epstein list. Then all of a sudden, there was a shutdown. Then they still tried to get it out. and the judge denied it. Everybody remember that? Because I know the Democrats love to act like things that happened didn't happen. That's their whole thing. That's their whole thing, to pretend like things that happened didn't happen. They have no other agenda. They have no other position but to lie. I promise you there's no other position. It's bananas. That's why I'm looking at people that vote Democrat, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know what to think of you guys. I don't know what to think of you guys. I'm just being honest. Because it's crazy. Because y'all believe stuff that I knew were lies like 10 years ago. But y'all believe it. And then I'm saying, God, it's hard to have respect. You know what I'm saying? Like, I respect you as a person, but it's hard for me to have respect for your intellectual acumen when you believe things that are so easily researched to find out that they're not true. Like, you don't even, it take two seconds. So you just refuse to find out the truth. You choose to believe the lie. It's your choice at this point. Google exists. YouTube exists. Even Bing exists. It's a choice at this point to believe the lies the Democrats say. It's a choice. It's crazy. 186,000 unalived people who are not here anymore, and hundreds of thousands of double dippers. And the Democrats are trying to prevent these people from being removed off of the roll. What in the hell? I am 100% for, I'm going to take it a step further, because this is my belief. I believe that if they clear the rolls and get all of these people off that's not supposed to be there, the under people that's not alive, the double dippers, the illegals, all of that, that's literally going to be more money for the people who need it. And those are the people that's trying to help keep those individuals on the roll. You get it? I'm gonna explain this. Let me just explain it a little bit slower, because we might have some people in here that's actually listening to understand, not listening to respond. So I'm explaining a little bit slower. All government assistant programs have a pool of money that it pulls from in order to send it to the recipient. Depending on how many recipients are going to be receiving from this pool of money, also is going to be how much money each individual recipient gets. So if you have, let's just start with a round number, 100 people that are supposed to be pulling from a fund of $500,000, let's say, right? Let's move it down, make it a little bit more a smaller number. You got 100 people, and they're supposed to be receiving funds from something like $10,000, right? So basically, that's like $100 for each person, right? Now, imagine if out of those 100 people, right? And the reason why they're all getting 100 is because that's what the pool is. Like, that they can't give them more. You understand? Because there's not more money to give. Now you find out of those 100 people, only 30 of them are actually qualified, because only 30 of them are actual citizens of America. Now imagine if those 30 people was now just receiving the money from I said $10,000, should have said $1,000, right? So 100 people receiving, we could stay at $10,000. It's $1,000 a piece for the 100 people, right? So now when you remove those other 70 people, that means that there's going to be more money for the 30 people. That's what Trump is trying to do. The Democrats, though, they want to keep giving the majority of this money to illegals and other people who don't qualify and shouldn't be on it in the first place. I'm not talking about single mothers. I don't care. I don't care about the white person, the black person, the white American, the black American, the Spanish speaking American, the whoever American that's getting SNAP and shouldn't be. I don't even care about that. I don't want to be clear about this. I don't care about that. That's a whole nother issue that I don't care. They're American. Give them the damn money. I don't care. But what I do care about is the 70 people that, because they're pulling from those resources, that means less money is going to the 30 people. We don't want unalive people. People are not alive no more on SNAP, fam, receiving benefits. That's insane. We don't want people double dipping. That's insane. Remove those. Get them out of there. The Democrats are fighting to keep them in there. That's literal fraud. So the Democrats are fighting to keep fraud alive in SNAP. The government had to close in order for Donald Trump to do some of the things without interference. But I'm saying this, and I want to be clear. He's not taking your SNAP. First of all, the Democrats were the ones that was not voting to open up the government. And they still had people saying that it was the Republicans. That's insane. Why While the Democrats are actively saying we're not going to say yes to this bill, in the same breath saying that the Republicans won't vote to open up the government. And I promise you that there's people that believe this because I've spoken to them, where they argue with me saying Trump has the government closed. And when I ask them how, they don't have no explanation. They deflect. They have no explanation. I say how? Or every Republican voted to open the government. How does Trump has it closed? They just deflect. Oh, you know Trump, he a racist. They just start deflecting and talking about a whole bunch of stuff that don't got nothing to do with the topic. Oh, so you know I'm right. See, that's the Satan in you. And just so we could be clear, pride isn't a sin, but too much pride is. So that's that Satan in you. You know I'm right. And that's 100% how I look at every single situation like that happens. That's that Satan in you. %100. And that allows me to get through the moment. Wow. Losing my temper. Without being upset, while being angry. You're possessed right now in this moment. Satan has control over your tongue. What up, Manzi? Satan has control over your tongue. You're possessed right now. That's how I look at it. Hold on, I was looking for a clip I wanted to show y'all. Hold on. I showed y'all this yesterday. I think I showed y'all this yesterday. I wanna show y'all this again today. Let me see if it's in the thing real quick. I'm gonna show y'all this. This is bananas. This thing I'm about to show you. The people are crazy. So I showed y'all this yesterday. I'm gonna show y'all this right now too. Watch this.
First of all, identify it for us. You're in a session and you pick up on what?
Well, Harris, it doesn't take long for me to pick up on this.
So just so we could be clear, this guy right here is a psychotherapist. He's been invited on Fox News. So for anybody that wants to discredit him and pretend like he does not know what he's talking about, he's been invited on Fox News and he is a psychotherapist. Just so we could be clear, his name is Jonathan. Hold on. Let's take this a step further. I never understand how to spell Jonathan. I'm not even gonna. I don't know why the word just doesn't make sense to me. It just really doesn't. I never understand how to spell it. I spell it wrong every time. At 100 every time. I don't get it. Alpert, right? So hold on. Let's look at the dude real quick before I show y'all what's going on with him. Wow, says he has his own. He's a Manhattan. Let's see what's going on with him real quick, and I'm gonna let you see what he's doing. I'll let you see what he says. Oh, he wrote a book, Be Fearless. Change Your Life 28 Days. Shout out to Jonathan Alpert. He's out here helping people in many different ways, I'm guessing, right? So hold on. Let's see what else we got going here real quick. Just so we can know who we're going to be hearing speak. Jonathan Alpert is a therapist, psychotherapist, performance coach, consultant, columnist, and author who deeply understands the problems his clients face. Look, this guy, he's doing things. 2015 National Geographic Channel's docuseries, 2000's new reality edition. So he's been a part of a whole bunch of stuff. He has appeared on the Today Show, CNN, Fox, Good Morning America, many local TV outlets. He has a whole bunch of stuff going on. Why don't we listen to what he has to say real quick? Because you know how I keep telling you that these people on the left, the far left specifically, have a mental health disorder? I keep saying that. Let's see if somebody else with a lot more intelligent than me, let's see if they agree.
First of all, identify it for us. You're in a session and you pick up on what?
Well, Harris, it doesn't take long for me to pick up on this. People are obsessed with Trump. They're fixated. They're hyper fixated on Trump. And they talk about some of the features of this disorder. They can't sleep. They feel traumatized by Mr. Trump. They feel restless. I had one patient who said she couldn't enjoy a vacation because anytime she saw Trump in the news or on her device, she felt triggered. So this is a profound pathology, and I would even go so far as to call it the defining pathology of our time.
These people come to you for the things that you described. Can't sleep, traumatized, perhaps depression. I don't want to put words in your mouth. But at first, you are there to treat an illness, a disorder of some kind. And what you figure out is the trigger.
Well, and Trump is the trigger for many of these people. And to be that fixated on a figure, on a person, it's simply not.
Hold on. I think we need to replay that part real quick. I don't think, because I'm 100% sure people didn't really listen to what he said, what she said. She asked him basically about the problems, mental illness or whatever. Also, let's look up the word pathology real quick. Hold on. So, because I just want to make sure everybody understands what's going on. Because what happens is, y'all having conversations with people who are not very intelligent and they're busy talking to you like they know what they're talking about and they don't. Pathology, the science of the cause and effects of disease. The science of the cause and effects of disease.
Of some kind. And what you figure out is the trigger. But at first, you are there to treat an illness. Described. Can't sleep, traumatized, perhaps depression. I don't want to put words in your mouth. But at first, you are there to treat an illness, traumatize, perhaps depression. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but at first, you are there to treat an illness, but at first, you are there to treat an illness, a disorder of some kind.
Just so we could be clear, they are calling this problem that these leftists have an illness. What's a pathology? The science of the cause and effects of disease. So you do understand what they're saying. TDS is a real sickness. It is a real sickness. Now, watch somebody with half the intelligence of that guy. An actual psycho. Watch somebody with not even half the intelligence of that guy. With not even half the intelligence of that guy. Tell you he's wrong. They don't even have half the intelligence. There's no telling how many years of school that guy did. How much schooling he has. How much. They're going to tell you that they know more than him, though, while exhibiting all of the symptoms of this pathology. Let's get back to it.
And what you figure out is the trigger.
Well, and Trump is the trigger for many of these people. And to be that fixated on a figure, on a person, it's simply not healthy. And our country has strayed so far away from where we once were. If you look at in the 80s when President Reagan was shot, people were united. He famously said, I hope you're all Republicans to the surgeons. And the response was, today, Mr. President, we're all Republicans. But our country has lost that. We've strayed so far from that unity.
Mm-hmm. And what do you see? Because you told me off camera 3/4 of your patient load right now has what you're calling this TDS.
Well,
So let me explain real quick what they was trying to say in the beginning. So what he said is that people are coming into him and they're having all of these different anxieties and all of these different social issues with their own, and basically with their own nervous system. That's the easiest way to put it, because he's saying that they can't sleep. That's a nervous system thing. They're saying that they're depressed. That's a nervous system thing. So they're having all of these different issues with their nervous system, right? Where they're just, physically having physical reactions to a mental state of mind. Like, so they're having negative physical reactions because of the way that they feel or whatever. So they go into a psychotherapist in order to figure out the root cause. And what did he say the root cause was? The root cause is basically that these people are fixated on Trump. And just so we could be clear, not in a positive way, in a negative way. And it's irrational. That's what he's trying to say, trying to be polite about it. It's irrational. They have an irrational fixation on Trump. It's irrational. So when y'all having these conversations with these people out here in the street, don't even. You're talking to a wall. You're talking to, and I say this all the time, and I'll stand by this. I believe in my heart that the average Democratic voter will choose whatever the Democrats is talking about over God. Because I've been in the conversations with some of these people who claim to love God. And I'm not talking about no one person or no two people, just so we can be clear. I'm talking about at least 7, 8. Somewhere between 7 to 8 to probably like 11 to 12 people this year. Just this year alone. And I've been in conversations with people. Because I'm going to say this, and it's going to always be that one guy. Like, I be talking about stuff sometimes, and I'm going to say something. I be talking about stuff sometimes, and I don't even be talking about a person. And then they'll, like, when I see them, they'll be like, yo, you was talking about me, and I don't even be talking about them, but they know that they wrong. So they put themselves in that place. I don't even be talking about them. It don't even be them. It be some whole nother person. You just got the same issue they got, so you think I'm talking about you and I'm not. It is what it is. In any regard. Stop having conversations with these people. They're sick. I brought up Jesus to this woman, and she brought up Obama. Now, I'm not shooting at that woman either, just so we can be clear. But there's a sickness in our community. And I'm going to just move away from Trump for a minute. There's just a sickness in our community where black people want something racist to have happened to them so badly that they walk around and pretend things that are happening to them are racist that aren't even. Like anytime some black people want to get their way, they just say racism. Just like whenever a woman is trying to get their way over a man, they say, you shouldn't do that to a woman. Well, God says that women don't got no authority over men. So allow for us to be polite to you. I promise you, a real man, like I know y'all think women think real men are like simps, apparently. Like unless you're a simp, you're not a real man nowadays. But a real man is going to always be polite to a softer woman. The softer a woman is, the more love a real man is going to show her. The more room a real man is going to give her. Y'all just like dealing with them people that was raised by, and I'm not trying to shoot at nobody, but this is just a fact. Y'all just love dealing with those dudes that think that women and men are equal. Stop dealing with dudes that think that women and men are equal, because those is the niggas that's going to put hands on you. Men that understand that women and men are not equal, understand that women can hurt, men could hurt women. And a lot of us are very cognizant of that, and we go about our life trying to protect women rather than injure them. Now, with that being said, that doesn't mean that we're going to let a woman disrespect us. We're not doing that. But y'all want to date these men that believe that women and men are physically equal. And then when he beats your ass, you say it's all men. Go find yourself a man that was raised by a man. I promise you, a majority of the issues that you have with men won't exist. When I was growing up, we didn't allow women to do hard labor at all. It was an insult to the men in my family, and still is to this day, to have a woman doing hard labor, lifting up heavy shit and stuff like that, and I'm standing here. Y'all dating dudes that grew up with no men around them. Don't complain when you get abused, because you could have chose a man that treat women the way the Bible say. You love your wife like Christ loved the church. Y'all dating people that don't got no God in their life. Y'all dating people that was raised in households with women who abused them. A lot of times these niggas is good dudes. They just going through PTSD and you don't get it. A lot of these guys that might be overly aggressive or whatever, they just going through PTSD. They grew up in a household with an overbearing mother. They just going through PTSD, fam. And I'm telling you that because I got friends that are like that. And I've had conversations with them on this particular topic. Now, I know some single mothers that were great parents. Don't get this confused. Shout out to Miss Williams, Shaka Moms. I just had to name one for you just to prove my point. I know single mothers. She's a black woman on top of that. I know single women that were great parents, not good parents, not okay parents, exceptional parents that raised exceptional men. Just so we could be clear. This isn't an attack on a single mother. This is an attack on the ghetto mentality. For whatever the reason is, black people don't want that ghetto mentality to die. But guess what? How could our neighborhood stop being a ghetto unless we kill the ghetto mentality? You don't want to live in the ghetto, but you also don't want to get rid of the ghetto mentality. Explain it. Explain it. This dude said TDS is a thing. This is an actual psychotherapist that has patience and deals with this. And I'm telling you from personal experience, if you can agree, or not even agree, but say, I'm going to vote for that person over that person. And then I say, but that person wants to turn little boys into little girls. And then you say, yeah, I don't agree with that, but that other person's racist. What the fuck are you talking about? As far as I'm concerned, the Bible doesn't say anything about being racist, but the Bible does talk about harming children. So you're going to choose to harm children over a supposed racist. You're going to choose to do something that diametrically opposes God instead of do something that you just don't like or agree with. So when I get into these conversations with these people that hate Trump, I ain't gonna cap. Every single time I bring that up and every single time I explain. And that's when you start hearing it's both sides. Nah, I just explained to you how it ain't both sides. Now you just made a decision to go against God, and that's on you. I was trying to open your eyes. You decided to keep them closed. Just because I'm curious, is racism mentioned in the Bible? Let's see. So, racism is not mentioned in the Bible at all. Yes, harming children is mentioned in the Bible. Let's see what they say. Condemnation of harm. The Bible condemns harming children, which include acts like selling them into slavery, the thing Trump is currently fighting and that you guys are opposing. Just so we can be clear, all of you guys that vote Democrat is opposing everything that I'm saying right here, because these are all things that the Democrats are trying to have happen. Selling them into slavery. So hold on. What do you think? Ooh, hold on. This is the clip I wanted to show y'all earlier, but I don't know where it's at. I don't know how long ago I didn't post it yet. I got a ton of stuff I gotta post. Maybe I couldn't get it and I thought I got it. I don't know where it's at. But I'll just tell you. So they are actually they are starting to look for the children. So the government has recently said that the U.S. government has a multi-agency initiative to induct in-person welfare checks on the hundreds of thousands of unaccompanied migrant children released to sponsors during the Biden administration. I need for y'all to understand that that's happening. So they lost hundreds of thousands of children that just got released into America. Right? Hold on. I don't know how to preference the question. Reports indicate that a hotline established by the Biden administration for unaccompanied migrant children to report safety concerns or issues with their sponsors fails to answer approximately 65,000 calls between August 2023 and 2024. So now we're going to go back to this. This is what you guys are voting for every time y'all vote Democrat. Just so we can be clear. I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. This is what y'all voting for, right? So, condemnation of harm. The Bible condemns harm in children, which include acts like selling them into slavery. So I just showed you where they're literally being sold into slavery. As mentioned in verses like Job. Hold on. Because I'm saying things, and what's going to happen is these people, these godless people, they're going to argue with me. They're going to try to yell over the top of me so I can't be heard. They're going to do all of this if I tried to have this conversation in front of them. They're going to say, they're going to do everything that you could ever think of that Satan would do in order to prevent the message from getting out. That's crazy. Here go another translation. The wicked snatch a widow's child from her breast, taking the baby as a security for a loan. Why do you think they don't want us in the household? Why do you think they don't want children to have fathers? Also, this is literally what they're doing in California, when they're taking children away from families because the families don't agree to allow for the kid to be trans. They're literally stealing people's kids, fam. This is what y'all voted for. Because Trump racist. You know what? Y'all just say, let's go against God because Trump is racist. Trump is racist, so let's go against God. See how insane? That sounds insane. Jesus, teaching of protection. Advocated for the protection of children. Famously stating, see that you do not despise one of the little ones. Matthew 18:10. Your Father in heaven is not willing for that any of the little ones should perish. Matthew 18:14. He also stated that those who welcome a child welcome him and the one who sent him. Just so we could be clear on what I'm expressing at this moment. Just so we could be clear. So the Democrats, everything that they're doing diametrically opposes God, and y'all voting for them. Because in whatever insane world you live in, you believe that God should not be in the voting booth with you. When the Bible says, Corinthians, the Bible says to include, remember I'm constantly telling you about Corinthians. The Bible says to include God in every aspect of your life. But they have convinced you that God doesn't belong in politics. How? And who did this convincing? How? And why do you believe them? Forget, wait. Forget. Hold on, let me show you. Forget who's done the convincing. Why do you believe them? Oh, no. Why do you believe them? The Bible right here says God should be in every aspect of your life. It doesn't say except politics. Corinthians 10:31. Matthew 6:33 advises, but seek ye first the kingdom of God. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all things shall be added unto you. How are you making decisions without God? What kind of person is going to convince you or tell you to make decisions and leave God out of the decisions? So I get on here most days and we shoot at the Democrats. Not literally shoot, obviously, figuratively, verbally. We call them out. And the reason why I do this is because I get tired of having these conversations with people in real time. And they're just saying stuff that is not true. And all the stuff I'm saying right now, I'm telling them in real time. And they're telling me I'm lying. Even when I say stuff about the Bible, they be like, I'm lying. I don't know what I'm talking about. And I just be looking at them like, I'm trying to save you. This isn't no hate. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to save you. Because what's going to happen is, we don't know when we're going to go. We don't know when our last breath is going to be. We don't know. There's a lot of people that believe they're serving God, but you're not serving God. You're serving a fake, phony God that you believe is the real God, and he isn't. It's just some effigy of a thing that wish it was the Most High. It's a pretender. That's who you're serving. You just don't know. Some of y'all know, but the majority of y'all just don't know. You have no idea. You don't know enough about the Bible. You don't know enough about politics. And you don't know enough about the world. You just want to pretend you do. So when you're with your friends, I can't say anything to you because your friends are going to back you up because y'all all serve the same, fake God. Y'all all serve the same Satan. So y'all gonna accumulatively come together and try to bully me into serving that Satan. I'm not. The Bible and God does say I have to keep trying to bring you to him, though, to a degree. I'm never supposed to sacrifice myself and my faith, just so we could be clear. I'm never supposed to be like you. A man is never supposed to lose himself when he's amongst the enemy. And if you serve a different God, you are the enemy. It doesn't matter how nice you pretend to be. There's one God. One. There's not 100. There's not 1,000,000. There's one. I'm not going to hold it against you if you serve a different God. But if you try to get me to serve a different God, we are enemies. You're trying to steal my salvation. You're trying to get me to promote things that go against the Most High. Y'all better be out there and be careful. Y'all be making friends with people who the only reason why they're making friends with you is to pull you to their side. They don't have no other real recourse. They have no other mission that they have going on as far as you are concerned. They're just trying to get you to come to whatever their side is. What you gonna do? I'm gonna stand on my square and I'm gonna fight. You're gonna have to kill me. Because I am 100% happy with dying for the Most High. I'd do it a day if it was possible. Right now, that would be an honor. Why you can't even honor him by not voting for pedophiles. Why you can't even honor him by not voting for people that want to turn little boys into little girls. You can't even do that small thing. That's a small thing. Because you have to go out of your way to vote. You have to actively go to a place and do a thing. It's not something that's just going to happen or not happen. It's something that you have to apply energy to. Think about it. By not voting for a Democrat, you're serving the Most High. So you would have been serving the Most High better by just staying in your house. But instead, you go vote for people that bring in hundreds of thousands of minors, ship them to places that they don't even know where it's at. And then when 68,000 of those minors call for help, y'all hang the phone up. Those are the people you vote for. But in your mind, you're better than me. I get it. I don't think I'm better than you. I think my God is better than your God. I don't think I'm better than you, though. We all sinners. But my God is 100% better than your. First of all, your God doesn't exist. Just so we can be clear. It's an imaginary thing that was created by Satan. Because it doesn't exist. You're just worshiping Satan through the thing that doesn't exist. So your God doesn't exist. It's not a thing. My God is real, living, and the only one. So, yep, every time you get into a conversation with me and we have opposing viewpoints, even if we don't, I'm going to bring up things that revert back to the Bible, because that's how I talk. And what's going to happen? You're either going to agree with it or disagree with it. Now, if you're listening for comprehension, you might not necessarily agree with the overall premise, but you're not going to argue with the fact that come out of the Bible. They argue with the fact that come out the Bible. And then they try to pretend like they love God. Just something to think about. It's going on 10. Is there any questions anybody have? I'm not going to lie. I want to get out of here because I want to go. I haven't had breakfast. I only had coffee. Now, this girl right here says, I'm going to expose her. This chick right here just commented on my jump off, right? I'm going to expose her, right? I'm going to tell you what her comment is. Give you the opportunity to agree or disagree. I'm just going to blow up. So this is a comment. I'm going to let you see it for yourself. And the Republicans love the Most High. Let me show you something real quick. So, he regularly issued presidential proclamations, because we're going to talk about everybody, but I just want to point this out about Barack. Regularly issued presidential proclamations and attended the national prayer service. Great, right? Though he did not hold public events at the White House. So, he worshipped a god, we don't know which one he was worshiping because we didn't see him, in private. Fine. Let's say he was worshiping the real, true, and only God. Let's say he was. But he worshipped them in private. What did Trump do? First of all, national days of prayer. He even did a virtual one. So these guys are attending national days of prayer. These guys right here are doing prayers in secret for the most part at breakfasts, basically in secret for Barack Obama. Held White House events each year of his presidency and made the national prayer. So these are just one day out of the year. But Trump is regularly having people praying in the Oval Office. See, national prayer breakfast. They all do that. I'm going to acknowledge that. That's dope. But they all do that. Trump is having 7 times president needs openly praise God. This is what we're looking for. And look who's on the picture. Look who's on the thing. And it's just so we could be clear, the Christian Broadcast Network. And look who's the first picture they show. Just so we could be clear. From President Trump to Washington, 7 times presidents. So let's see which presidents openly praised the Most High. Real quick. Is there just a list? Okay, so we're going to go President George Washington, June 8th, 1783. President Thomas Jefferson, November 4th, 1820. President Harry Truman. I went to Truman in the Bronx. December 24th, 1950. President Franklin D. Roosevelt. February 23rd, 1938, 1936. Ronald Reagan. February 9th, 1982. President George Bush. October 13th, 2004. Most Americans' presidencies have a rich history of relying on, and at least verily speaking about the importance of God with an inauguration, opening up, Over the summer, President Donald Trump, speaking just days after he attempted assassination of his life, he told before the Republican Party, only by the grace of the Almighty God. Trump is hardly alone in making proclamations. So Trump, along with these guys, are the only ones that made public proclamations that were presidents of the Most High. But that lady said, Republicans love the Most High. You see how ignorant people are? They're just ignorant. I could have been nicer. People always think, I'm going to tell you a manipulation thing real quick. People always are going to act like you need to be super polite and super kind to people, but other people don't have to be polite or kind to you. What I mean by that is, if somebody disrespects you and then you get upset over it and then they act like you're the problem, those people never liked you. I'm going to say this again. If somebody disrespects you and then because of that disrespect, you come out of yourself and then the people act like you the problem, they never liked you. Oh, a random thing I want to say real quick. Just random. Just don't mean nothing. Next year, we're going to be covering, I'm going to reach out to some of the, not just football, but some of the sports leagues and stuff like that in the city. And we're going to go find a league maybe or a team to follow. And we're going to charge. And we're going to go find a team to follow. And so, you know, there's stuff that I want to do over here, but I can't do it unless I have resources. So we're going to go find a youth team that we're going to follow so we could build up our resources and we could really build up a network over here. Like, you know, because I need the resources to do certain things. Like, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to reach out and just so we could be clear, and not nobody specifically like in mind. I'm just going to reach out probably to as many different like football and basketball and baseball teams that I can. And we're going to try to, you know, create a network over here where we could start putting that stuff up on our channel. You know, in many cases I'll go out and get the video. In many cases I probably wouldn't have to. They could send it to me and then we could like create like a thing over here for New York City. So that's what I plan on doing, because we have to take steps in order to grow what we're doing over here. And we can't grow what we're doing over here if we're always putting out resources and never getting any resources back. Like never getting any resources back. We can't grow what we're doing over here. You understand what I'm saying? Like, how dry do you want to bleed me? Right? Like, how dry do you want to bleed me? I'm showing kindness and love. I expect kindness and love to be shown back. You know? Is that fair? I think that's fair. The narcissists that benefit from your kind heart is always going to act like you're doing something wrong. You understand what I'm saying? They like saying stuff like, but we never asked you. Not a problem. I'm going to take that personally. So we'll reach out to over the next couple of months. I'm just gonna reach out to a couple of different leagues and organizations and see who we could like find a good fit for us, where the money is right, the respect is there, and the camaraderie is there. You know, because that's important. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna reach out to a couple. I feel like I'm at that stage right now where if I don't do this, that I'm never gonna be able to grow past where we're at in that particular aspect of stuff. So we need to do that. We need to reach out. I know quite a few people that are like that I know that are in the basketball and other sports, and we'll see if we can try to branch out and get involved in that stuff. Sheesh. But that's what I plan on doing. So we're gonna reach out to different organizations, different football leagues. I'm gonna finish doing a couple of the videos that we currently already have that we were working on, and so I could have good examples of what I could possibly bring to what they have going on over there. And you know, I'm pretty sure like there's people that want to try to stifle me, so they're gonna probably be trying to call around to as many people as possible to be like, don't work with them. You know, people are evil, fam. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you know, I expect that to happen, just so we can be clear. Might not happen, but I expect it to happen. It's okay. There is a okay. That doesn't matter. But we got. I'm not sure. Could I can't even. Hold on. But you know, this should be coming out today. I'm gonna finish this particular one today, and I'm gonna send this because I'm gonna send this to some of the parents on the team we were playing against. I'm gonna send this out today. I'll let y'all see a little bit of this, what we got going on. I have a lot more to do with this. These kids are amazing, by the way. We got one on the outside over there, 42. We got 2 under the center. We got 70 in the backfield, 35 on the outside, 9 in the tight end. Ball's handed off to 70. 70 gets the ball, breaks one tackle up the middle. 70 with the ball. They're trying to gang tackle him. They're trying to rip the ball out. 70 in the grass. They have to blow it dead. In the grass, they blew it dead. Good run by number 70. Good run by number 70. It looks like they're trying to strip the ball out. They have very little interest in actually tackling them. I think the idea is to gang tackle at this point. So this video should be out today. Video should be out. Got 42 slot, 1 on the outside. We got 70 in the backfield. We got not only this, but I also have there's more than one. Jeez, where's the other one? Is it this one? Yeah. So wait, that's the same one. Anyway, in any regard, we got a couple of these we got to get out of here. Got a couple of these we got to do. We're gonna knock it out. Sharks intro. Oh, okay, I know why. I know where that's at. I know why that's not showing up. So we're gonna finish these right here. We got a couple of other things to do. I got a ton of stuff that I want to add, just so we can be clear. And you know, and I just really love the parents on the Downtown Giants came over and just spoke to me so warmly and so caring, and it just looks like a place that, you know, it would be nice to be. You know, it just looks like a place that's nice to be. I love the kids, don't get this confused, but I'm not gonna stick around and do stuff because I love the kids only. I love all the kids. So, I mean, I love those kids, y'all kids. I love those kids also. I want them to succeed also. Depending on where I'm going to be at is depending on where I'm going to be able to grow my brand the best. That's what it is. Where I'm going to be able to do the most things that I currently want to get done. That's what it is. I don't feel like, and I feel bad for the kids over here. because there's so many things that I wanted to do, and I keep trying to say, yo, we should do this, we should do this, we should do this, and we never get to it. Like, I've been trying to get sideline interviews for the longest. All I would take is, I don't even need the whole interview. All it takes is somebody to be on the sidelines and, you know, have a camera going for me so I could have some sideline shots. I can't get that done. You know what I'm saying? But that's nobody's responsibility. That's just my own. So I'm not mad at nobody, and I'm not upset, and it's okay. But, you know, there's just things that I want to do that I need to be around people that, you know, also look out for my best interest, like I'm looking out for theirs. Right? So, that part, you know, if it's gonna take me 3-4 hours to sometimes longer than that, to appropriately edit a video, you know, I wish I had some sideline stuff. But, you know, everything is going so fast that with my one camera, I can't get to everything. Especially some of the stuff that I want, you know? I want to be able to get our cheerleaders on there. I was able to get a couple of cheerleader shots last game. I don't have those videos right now. Coach has them. The other coach has it. Coach Reggie. Shout out to Coach Reggie. Love that guy. But they have those. I don't have those right now. He didn't send them to me yet. So there's a whole game I can't post anyway because I didn't get the video sent to me yet. I mean, I could contact them and be like, send it. So that's also on me. That's not on him, just so we can be clear. I haven't contacted them and asked them for the video yet. But there's like a ton of stuff. I would love to get the cheerleaders in there. It is what it is. I would love to, you know, have more stuff where we have a camera that's on the coaches, so we can like see some of the more inside stuff that we could splice in there when some of the things that are happening on the field, and we could get some we could get the reactions of the coaches. I would love that. This is just some of the things that I would love to add. You understand what I'm saying? And some other stuff that I don't want to mention because ain't nobody else doing it. You understand what I'm saying? Well, nobody's doing any of this stuff. People are doing this stuff, but the stuff that I want to do is stuff nobody's doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to mention it because I don't want to give it's still my ideas. Hold on, let me fix this camera. I don't know what it's still my ideas. So I love the kids, but I love all the kids. And working with these kids, to me, is the same like working with some other kids. As long as I can inspire and encourage, I'm fine. I would love to get some Seagate stuff going. I think people are trying to make me look bad to the people in Seagate so they could try to steal that mojo from me. That's okay though. But I would love to get some Seagate stuff going. That would be more like the basketball aspect of whatever we're gonna get done, just so we can be clear. But I would love to do that. You know, I'm about to get up out of here, but I would love to do that. You know, I want to encourage the youth. I grew up. I lived in a dead-end block. So I didn't have any people in my neighborhood. I lived in a dead-end block. Hold on. When I say that, I don't think people get it. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So I grew up in a dead-end block. So I'm gonna show you something real quick. I'll get. You see this? That's a train track right there. You know, you see this? I think y'all can see my cursor. So that's a train track, right? So across the street. Not that house. I lived in the house right next to it. I'll show you something real quick, because people don't get it. Ah, shit! I went all the way down the block. There used to be a dog in front of this house right here, right in front of this place. When I was a kid, that damn dog used to chase me down the block all the time. I hate that dog. So this is the block I grew up on. This is what it looks like. It's a dead-end block, yo. Look, I grew up in this house. I grew up in that house right there. Look, dead-end block. Look what's across the street. So this is my neighborhood. So, look. A family lived there. This is the house I lived in. No family lived here when I was growing up. This was there, and that was a big vacant yard. This was more like a yard too, not for nothing. They built that building there, so that was a whole vacant yard. There was a family that lived there. This is another industrial area, right? So it was no one, and all old people lived in all of these houses, basically. Old people. And I had one friend that lived on this block. His name was Freddie. Shout out to Freddie. And him and his family lived there, and we played there all the time. This is where we played at. Freddie lived there. So I grew up in the, I didn't grow up with nobody, fam. I grew up, and remember, I lived alone. So I didn't have older people in my neighborhood to give me any guidance or care about me or anything like that. I didn't have that until I moved to Concourse Village. And when I moved to Concourse Village and I saw how the older dudes took time to help the younger dudes out, it was just different, you know? So that's what I want to do with my life. I want to spend a good deal of my life just helping other people. I think it's dope. Let's go back to what did it look like in 2014. Mom, I tell you, look, the building look a little bit different right now. Also, this school wasn't there. All of that was like trees. All of that was trees. That was burnt down stuff. All that was trees. This building was not there. That was this yard just extended over there. That's all that was. It was just a bigger yard. This is where I grew up, you know. That's what it is. I want to go backwards. Like, could I go to even further back? It'd be dope if I could go back to like further back. See, I can understand just how like this was not a good neighborhood, and this was a very dangerous neighborhood. Not for nothing. Like, I'll show you something. Let's go up the block for a second, so you could get a better understanding. So this place is in the middle of nowhere. Look, this is in the. Could I get this off the screen? Sheesh. This place is in the middle of nowhere, yo. Could I move this out of the way? Like, what the heck, fam? There we go. This place. This didn't used to be there when I was a kid. None of this was there. All of that was rubble. That was just burned down buildings. Like, it was just buildings that was burned down to the ground. None of this was there. None of this was there. This was all of this right here. When I was a kid, did not exist. It was just buildings that was burned down to the ground. Like this whole school right there. I think this buildings was there. These buildings right here was there. And that building right there was there. That buildings right there in the corner, they weren't there. This school, that wasn't there. That was just burned down area. Because, you know, it was the Bronx in the freaking 80s. That was all burned down. None of this was there. That was just burned down buildings. This is the middle of nowhere. Remember that kid that got stabbed up by the machete guys? It was this neighborhood. Junior Gonzalez, Junior, I forgot his last name. Remember Junior? I'm gonna show you right where he got killed at. It's right this neighborhood, fam. This is Bathgate. This neighborhood This is one of those neighborhoods where if you walk through it and people don't know you, like, there could really be a problem. This is one of those neighborhoods, not fake. So Junior got killed in front of, where's 80? This 183rd. He got killed is up the block. See, he was running this way. So the store he got killed at. Oh, this is. So the store that the situation happened at, it was one of these stores. I believe it was this store. It's like this store right here. I believe it's that store. There, that's his picture right there. Look, that's his picture. So you show up at this block. That's why a lot of times people be acting like they tough. Nah, this block right here, niggas is really killing you just for not knowing who you are. Like, for real, for real. So that's the store. I'll show you from where he ran from, when they chased him from. So he, after they hit him with the machete, he ran up this block right here and he died over here. Feel bad for the kid. He died over here. But this is the block they chased him from. I'll show you. So you can see how far he ran. What the heck? Like, people don't really be knowing you. You know what I'm saying? People just, what the hell? Go up the block. What the heck is this doing that for? Hold on. Why did it bring me over here? Hold on. Why is this blue? Like, what the heck, fam? Alright, we back here. So he ran from this block. Minimize. He ran from over here. Far. He ran far. Mom, they was chasing him in a car. And he dipped them at first. And then he lost them. He ran from over here. See this little triangle? This is where he was at. He was in this area. And this is like heavy gang activity area. Not for nothing. But he was over here. And he ran down. I don't know if he ran down this block over there or that block. But I believe he ran down this block. Because he lost them at first. So I believe he ran like this. I'm not 100% sure though. Just so you can understand how far he ran. This is PS59. I used to go there. I want to get big so I could go back there and do stuff for them so badly. So he ran down this block. Look how far this is, yo. And to this store. And then that's when that thing happened to him. So yeah, this is my old neighborhood. This is where I grew up. And when I tell you it was dangerous, man. It was dangerous. It was dangerous. Like, for real, for real. And just so we could be clear, the majority of the people over there is of some Spanish-speaking heritage. So there's black people, but not really. I had classes that I was in, where we got 30 kids in the class and 5 black people. Not 5 black boys, 5 black people. One of them might be the teacher. So that's where I grew up. That's why when y'all come to me and y'all try to tell me to hate on Spanish-speaking people, when I try to, like, I just can't. Because when I was a kid and I had those are the people that showed me love. Those are the people that embraced me. Black people did not embrace me as a child. I need for people to understand that. Black people did not embrace me as a child. They left me to die. Literally. Not figuratively. Not me just saying a thing or embellishing or trying to. They left me to die. It was Spanish-speaking people that fed me. when I was hungry. Shout out to the pantry. Shout out to Pastor Joel. It was Spanish-speaking people that fed me when I was hungry. So, I'm never going to be racist against any other race. I'm just not gonna. Y'all barking up the wrong tree. Hate me, if that's what it is. Because I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to hate on white people. I'm not going to hate on no race of people, fam. None. And I'm always going to love people that speak Spanish. Because it wasn't just Puerto Ricans. It wasn't just Dominicans. I had Honduran friends that was helping me. I had Mexican friends. You understand? Why black people left me to die. That's why I get what Lil Wayne says, even though I don't really agree with it too much. Because Lil Wayne loves other people at the, I don't want to say at the deference, but more than he loves black people because of the situation that happened when black people left him to die and a white man saved him. I love my people. I love black people. Do not get this confused. But God says, don't follow your parents into hell. It doesn't say that specifically, but it does emphasize individual responsibility of one's own faith and actions before God, regardless of the parent's choice. I know I'm not saying it the perfect way, and that's why sometimes I put it into Google, because I know I need to say it better than what I'm saying it as. But I'm not wrong. You should not follow your parents into hell. You shouldn't follow anyone into hell. You shouldn't do anything that goes against God just because somebody else is encouraging it. You understand? It's individual accountability. The Bible clearly states that each person is responsible for their own sins and their own relationship with God. The righteousness of a parent will not save the child, nor the wickedness of a parent condemn the child. Obeying God over human authority. Children are instructed to obey your parents in the Lord. Ephesians 6:1, which implies that obedience is expected as long as it aligns with God's will. Fam, I'm never lying to y'all. What happens is people don't understand what I'm saying, so they just assume what I'm saying is wrong. Or the other thing that I explain, I tell somebody I'll do something for them, and then they just start disrespecting me and still expect me to do the thing for them after they start disrespecting me or treating me badly. I am not, and I have no obligation, so says the Lord, as far as I'm concerned. If a parent tells a child to do something that goes against God's commands, the child's primary allegiance is to God. You don't have the slightest idea how many times I was told to go do things that go against God, and I refused. And I refused for the explicit purpose that it goes against God. There's a reason why there's blessings on my name. Putting God first. Jesus taught that the devotion to God must come before all human relationships, including family. This is all I'm ever saying. Just so we could be clear. And literally the main reason why I be showing a lot of these Bible verses, just so we could be clear, is because these are actual conversations that I be having with people in real life, and then they try to take the higher authority over me like I don't know what I'm talking about. So that's why sometimes y'all see me talk about it here, because you're wrong. The only reason why there's even an acceptance of you being right is because the people that you are around is gonna just pick your side. And this is why I keep saying I don't go along to get along. You can never get me to go along to get along. I'm never going to do that. Ever. And I don't care. And there's nothing you can do. And I'm ready to die for that. Ready to die for it. Just so we can be clear. I'm going to let y'all go. I am hungry. I need to get me some. It's not lunch yet, but I think I'm going to start making something to eat now. Give me a snack and then make me something to eat. I got to go. Yeah, look, I love y'all, man. Look, go out there in the world and do something worth doing. Don't allow these people to manipulate you. A lot of people are going to come to you like they come in the name of the Most High, but they don't. They come in the name of whatever their own personal need is. That's why they come into you. Whatever the personal need is that they have, they coming to you for that. If they was coming to you in the name of God, they're going to treat you a certain way. I promise you. So there's a person, and I'm not going to call their name, but they've been calling me a liar so often. This show right here has proved how, like, more than half of the things that they called me a liar for, I was not lying about. And it also proves that they align with Satan. Because I just showed you. Majority of the things that they agree with and that they're on the side of is satanic and is lines with Satan. So I don't care if you get yourself straight. That's not my responsibility. I don't care. But I promise you, and not you only, but anyone, when you tell me I'm wrong about something and then you don't let me speak, if I could speak to you in that moment, even if you don't agree with me on the thing, but we can speak about it and have a conversation about it, I would never bring it here. But once you try to shut me up, quiet my voice, I'm taking that like you're trying to quiet the Lord's word, because 9 times out of 10, I'm just telling you stuff that's from the Bible. I don't really know any other way to have a debate except for to say the position that I have and then tell you how that lines up with God. So imagine how I must feel when I tell you a position and then I explain to you how I believe that lines up with the Bible, and then you call me a liar. You're not calling me a liar. You're saying you don't believe the word of God. Now, how am I supposed to look at you? Because I'm literally just saying stuff that comes from the Bible as best as I can. Now, just imagine a person calling you a liar. Not saying they don't believe it, because saying you don't believe something is fine. But calling you a liar when you're saying things out of the Bible, what are you supposed to think about that person? And that's 100% why every single conversation I have, if we don't agree with one another, I'm bringing up something from the Bible to show my point. 100% of the time, I'm going to put you in a position where you're either going to have to disagree with me, pardon me, I'm putting you in a position where you either disagreeing with God or you coming to your senses. And that's why I don't like debating people. Because I'm 100% going to put you in that situation. 100% of the time. Every single time you have a disagreement with me. Because every single thing that I believe based around things in the Bible. I run everything that I think, my entire thought process, I run that through the Bible. So when somebody is having a debate with me on something, the Bible will 100% come up. It only matters if I tell you or not. Because I might not tell you. I might just say the thing. And then if you agree with it, I'll explain it comes from the Bible. I'll explain that again. Every single time I get into a debate, and I've been doing this since I've been a child. I've been doing this since I've been a teenager, right? I've been doing this since I've been a child, since before I was a teenager. Just so we could be clear. I run every piece of my thought process, my brain, every decision I make, I run it through the Bible. Every decision. So when you're having an argument with me, I'm always going to revert back to why I did or think the thing that I think. And that's 100% of the time going to be something from the Bible. So when you're calling me a liar, you're attacking God. And I make it like that on purpose, just so we could be clear. I 100% do that on purpose. Because I'm not fighting this fight alone. You get it? I know I'm not fighting this fight alone. There's blessings on my name. I know that. So just think about that. Every single time anybody has any kind of conflict with me, I bring God into the conversation. 100% of the time. I'm helping people go to hell. And I'm also opening up the door to allow for them to go into heaven, or at least look at what we're supposed to be doing so we could be in God's graces. I'm opening the door. This is how we get into God's graces. I'm also opening the door. This is how you go to hell. Every single conversation. So the next time you see somebody arguing with me, think about that. The next time you see somebody yelling at me, think about that. The next time somebody comes up to you and talks bad about me, think about that. I'm playing the long game. I'm playing the longest game. Like, comment, subscribe. Join the notification gang. Hashtag Bronx Bowmans. Let's get it. I love y'all. Take care of each other. Hug the kids for me. I haven't forgotten about you. And that's all I got on this one.